All right. Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the Ask Aki show. I'm your host, Prince Sefa Bawanchi, law student, blogger, as well as black entrepreneur, and I'm here to talk with San Diego Raptors Aki Carmichael today. Every week, every Friday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, and 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Aki Carmichael, do you want to say hello to our audience and introduce yourself?
Sure. Peace and dubs. You know how we doing sunny San Diego, aka San Diablo, aka Akiville. You know what I'm saying? It's always sunny in Akiville. Um, I'm repping my Puerto Rico tourist joint. You know what I'm saying?
I see that, man.
Because I feel like I'm on vacation, and my apologies for those tuning in to check me out. I was gonna be out back, and it would have been flyer. Y'all can see how pretty it is out here right now. But unfortunately, I had technical difficulties on my other computer. So next week, by the will of the Most High, we'll be out back, and y'all can see how we gig in the backyard or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The backyard San Diego living. You dig?
Dig it, man. Well, right here, I'm back in cold East Boston, and right now we're actually experiencing a little bit of snow. So I'm a little bit jealous, Aki. A little bit jealous, but
Well,
anyways.
I sure wish I can experience a little bit of snow every now and then. I'm gonna have to come check you out. Some of that snow,
Yeah.
fam.
Yeah, no problem. No, we got. So, anyways, Aki Carmichael, today we're gonna talk about music, and I know how, prophetic you are in your music, and it's a very important topic because right now it's a war, out there, and a lot of our audience out there don't know what is good, what is evil, and so. But knowing you, Aki Carmichael, and knowing your flow, I'm sure you're gonna answer that for us. So let me go and ask the question: where is music going for us? What is the musical direction here in the world?
Well, when we're looking at the present, that's a question that points to the future. But in order to see the future, you got to look at the past real quick. So,
Right.
if you go back to the '70s, black music, that was kind of our black music renaissance in a certain kind of way, where even as that certain level of black acceptance and black pride, black
Yeah,
power,
definitely
whatever you
agree.
want to call it, um, was very prominent in the artistry then. And there were other
Right.
eras, but I just want to take it to the '70s. You had artists like Stevie Wonder. You had
Right.
producers like Kenny Goble and Leon Huff, who created the Philadelphia sound. You had the Motown sound and Quincy Jones and people of that sort. And these people, they were masters at their artistry, as well as the session musicians that they had sit in that a lot of hip hop artists sample even to this day. These classic musicians are masters at their artistry. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Bernard Purdy was a drummer that drummed with James Brown and others, etc. So then from that era of music, the '70s, we roll into the '80s and things changed a little bit. They started to incorporate more synthesized music, or not. When I say synthesized, I actually mean not synthesized because they had synthesizers in the '70s, but I would say adding a more computer element to it. And even the drum machines started becoming more popular. And so you kind of phase out the traditional drummer because now you got cats on the drum machine. Hip hop adopted a lot of that music using machines. Um, but in a nutshell, if you look at music today, you see more people doing their music on computers now. They even
Hmm.
have an app. They even have an app where you can download on your iPad and even on your iPhone these production apps. And so today you have artists that are making their whole albums like on their cell phones and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or on an iPad.
Yeah.
But they may not even have no classical music training. They might not have went to no kind of production studio course or anything like that. They just downloaded an app. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when you have that level of tone in the music, because now that creates a lot of people, a lot of artists whose music all kind of sounds the same. These producers, there's a lot of mimicry going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that whole mimicry thing is very prevalent right now. And we're living in an era of social media. Social media is a big popular forum for people within the music. And so now you're just getting this generalized overall kind of like, I would call it like a flat line. Like it's a flatliner of artists, and all the music sounding the same. All the singers sound the same, or the rap, they use auto-tune, so everything's automated through the computer. They have the download from the app store for production studio, and they record all the music on their phones and their iPads. And so now we're at a flat line in music because everything's just, you know what I'm saying? And it's really gonna take some artists today to really step out of that box. You understand what I'm saying? There's gonna be some artists, they're gonna have to go back to the 70s, learn how to play these instruments, learn how to use these synthesizers and these mixing boards and all this kind of stuff. Or even, dare I say, some of these artists might even have to go back to the 90s and learn how to actually have a beat machine and learn how to program beats. You feel me? Not just software, but get hardware and learn how to use this equipment, learn how to write a rhyme, learn how to write a 16, learn how to write a 4-bar hook or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And really do something that's fundamentally different than what's popular today, because we're destroying our culture and we're destroying the future, because these kids are growing up and they're not learning how to express themselves artistically. And then when they finally figure that they want to be artists, they're just thinking of imitating what they see as popular. And all these clown artists, they're parading themselves like they're making so much money. They're so happy. They're so popular. And they're just scrubs. They're just scrubs with a record deal. And they might get a little chain or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they're scrubs and they're slaves and they're like prostitutes. And so the culture, the artistry is just going, it's going down because it's flatline. And when a human being is in the hospital and you hit that flatline, that means he's dead. And so now you can't say, people used to say, oh, hip hop is dead. That's not true, because hip hop is still thriving. The art form, the music is thriving. I'm not saying there's not artists that are talented today, but I'm just saying that nonsense that's out, that's prevalent. And I'm not even just talking about the topics. I'm just talking about the simple fact that it all sounds the exact same today. And that makes me think, you know, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but are they really trying to sell us upon some false idea? Are they trying to sell us some false hope? You know what I'm saying? Because the whole concept of creating what they call popular music is to create a sound that everybody across the board globally really can relate to on some kind of level. And when they're able to do that, like when you look at Michael Jackson's success in the 80s, that level of success as a musical pop icon, you can coin it and parallel it with the renaissance of like McDonald's being the number one grossing fast food chain, selling billions of burgers worldwide, or Pepsi Cola selling billions of Pepsis worldwide, because that's what they want to do. They want to sell us something and they want to profit off of it. But they're not just selling us a product like Pepsi or McDonald's. They're selling us an idea. And you know what? They're selling us a false idea. And so, Lord forbid, you know, I hope my children and my children's children can break that cycle, even if it's just artistically. But in breaking that cycle, guess what happens? Then you start these people who fall out of line of what they consider mainstream or normal or whatever. Then these people are perceived as being the bad guys or the villains or whatever, even if their intent is good and even if what they're doing is good. And in a way, it's the Jesus story being told over and over again. But, you know, according to the scriptures, it says that when Jesus returns in the last days, he'll be victorious against the wicked. And you would understand why these companies, the music companies, why they want to like say they want to mute people like me. They want to mute my sound waves because I represent the independent market, You know what I'm saying? I represent being a self-styled and self-created, uh, I would say, entity or whatever. Like I'm not made, molded, and shaped by some industry record label that wants to promote and sell an idea that I might not necessarily agree with. You understand what I'm saying? Recommended viewing for the listening audience out there. There's a movie called Josie and the Pussycats. I think it came out around early 2000s. It was a spinoff from the cartoon Josie and the Pussycats. Watch that movie. It's kind of corny. Old girls in it. What's that one sister? She plays the black chick in the movie. Rosario Dawson.
Dawson?
Yeah, Rosario Dawson. She's in that. I don't know who the other chicks are, but I know her. Check that movie out. And it's kind of parodied on that whole idea of brainwashing people, but that's real. And all you got to do is see what's the underlying message on the song. Okay, let me give you a classic example. There was a song by Jamie Foxx called "Must Be the Liquor," and in that song, he's talking about must be the Remy. He's naming all these alcoholic beverages. Now that's a perfect way to sell all the alcoholic beverages that he just mentioned.
Right.
You know, Ice Cube back in the days, he used to talk about St. Ides. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up getting endorsed by St. Ides. So it would make sense for Ice Cube to have a song where he's mentioning St. Ides. And then eventually they had commercials, and other rappers went in on that bandwagon of doing commercials, even Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang, Nate Dogg, Biggie, Scarface. And they were all drinking that poison anyways. So why not kill two birds with one stone? I get free St. Ides and I can make money, get endorsed. That's all fine and dandy, but now you're influencing a whole generation of young people to smoke blunts and drink 40s and drink St. Ides specifically. See,
that's true.
You look in the past and you see, and I love hip hop. I love Wu-Tang. But yeah, and I never drunk 40 ounces, to be honest with you. I never was into that. But all of the homies, they would go get a 40 ounce. We was like underage. We was like 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rolling a blunt and getting a 40 ounce, getting a St. Ides or Old English. They sold us poison. Wu-Tang sold us on poison. And some of us are still locked into that. And in all honesty, shoot, man, they should know better because they got knowledge of self. They supposed to be God bodies. I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. I got the utmost respect for them, but that's the truth. It's the reality.
Man, all right. Well, hey, Aki, before we gotta leave, can you tell our audience, what can they, what can they not only look for, but how can they tell that what they're hearing is bad for them and what they're hearing is good for them? How can they kind of like differentiate between good and evil? If they want to,
I'm gonna say this. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? And me as an artist, I do a whole lot of different kind of songs. I have some songs that can be easily played at a club. You know what I mean? And maybe even, dare I say, maybe even a strip club if I wanted to take it there. All I'm saying is there's a time and place for everything. But it gets to a point where certain things are overly emphasized a little bit too much. And especially if you got a corny little beat that sounds perfect. It sounds like a children's nursery rhyme or children's nursery song, corny, cheesy little beat, and you got real simple rap words that you know is targeted to kids. It's just like you go in a cereal aisle, and you see Tricks Are for Kids, and you see this bright, colorful box with this rabbit on it. You feel me? It's targeted to be for children. And there's poison in that cereal. And it's the same thing with this music. It's poison. The message is poisonous. Now, children is not able to assess what's necessarily good or bad as far as the message. But a child should not be hearing about sexual circumstances and you like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I'm seeing these little young girls, man, they know all the words to these perverted little songs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you want to know why? Because these songs are played on the radio over and over and over and over and over again. And these ignorant parents, they don't screen what they allow their children to listen to. So, so that should be obvious. What some may say, what some call coon hop. You know what I mean? Well,
I hear you.
Buffoonery. So that's definitely not good, you know? It's the same
All right,
thing
man.
as,
Hey.
oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, no. I thought you were gonna finish your thought, but finish your last thought. So because we gotta end the show. But go ahead.
Sure, I was just gonna say it reminds me of Santa Claus and Christmas. We're still being sold on this. I mean, yo, real spill. When I was a kid, for a second, I believed Santa Claus was real. I'm not gonna lie, and I hope y'all don't think I'm stupid for that. But my parents said Santa Claus was real, and I believed them. You know what I'm saying?
Feel you.
But eventually, I figured out, oh, that dude's a phony. You know what I'm saying? He ain't real. But we're so even once we discover that Santa Claus is fake, we still celebrate Christmas and Easter and all these false little holidays. Where us, like consumer whores, we run to the stores to buy all these new items that they're saying we need. You feel me? And it's that same deception over and over again. I say we boycott these so-called holidays. They're not holy, whether you're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. Let's boycott Christmas, Easter, all of these, 4th of July, anything where we got to spend money for. If you just boycott it financially. If you want to celebrate 4th of July, Christmas, cool. Make it spiritual. But I'm saying don't go running to the store to buy stuff again and again and again like fools, like sheep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, same thing with music. It's the exact same thing. Let's stop buying that false nonsense. Let's get back to preserving our culture, our art form. Let's keep it pure, righteous. And if you want to listen to perverted music in the privacy of your home, or you about to get it popping with some female or whatever, you might want to go pop on some Jodeci. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you about to go hit up some spot, some club, you know what I'm saying, in some grimy part of town, and you want to hear something more rugged, and so you can get pumped up and not get punked while you're at some spot that's grimy, then bump you some Akbar Sun, bump you some Aki Carmichael. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. That's all right. Hey, well, hey, Aki.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
No, it's okay. Well, hey, Aki, as much as I want to talk, we got to end the show. I appreciate this. You provided, as always, just gold knowledge to our audience out there when it comes to music, when it comes to just music in general, life. So I appreciate this. So anyways, if my audience wants to contact you, get your music, follow you, where can they go?
They can go on my SoundCloud, Aki Carmichael, AKI space KHARMICEL. You can just Google it. You can go on YouTube and Google Aki Carmichael, or my soul group, Aki Kalak, AKIKHALAQ, and the Black Prince, PRINTS, like fingerprints. We got videos. You can go on my Gmail, contact me, and my Bandcamp. I'm not on social media right now. You want to know why? Because I've been creating in the laboratory, and I'm not trying to get caught up in that flat line of creativity like these other so-called artists. You know what I mean?
Right.
All these so-called artists that, sound like everybody else. You know what I mean? Anyway, cheers to you, Prince.
Hey, and, cheers to you, man.
Appreciate it. And, as always, peace. And dubs, I'm too West Coast. I can only do the W's on the left-hand side. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, I'll catch you next week, brother, and I'll catch any of my listeners and viewers next week as well.
Cool, man. Well, hey, guys, if you want to reach me, anyone reach out to my online business, you go to livelikeanentrepreneur.com. I provide all links below. And before I go, Aki, I just want to say thank you for preserving, Black art, hip hop, and its true form, and just speaking the truth about music. So I appreciate that. So with that being said, I'll see you next week, man.
See you next week, brother.
All right, man.
Peace.
Take care.
You too.